is the largest object in the solar system, more than 1,000,000 times bigger than Earth. It constitutes 99.8% of the total mass of the solar system. The Sun is in a huge ball of hydrogen gas. Everything in the solar system revolves around it. It rotates once on its axis every 25.4 days. The Sun's core reaches 50 million degrees Celsius, or 27 million degrees Fahrenheit, so hot that it would vaporize everything on Earth. The Earth orbits in the Sun's outer atmosphere. We need the Sun to maintain life on Earth, but the full strength of the Sun's energy would kill all living things. We are protected by the Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field, which allows only part of this energy to reach Earth. Mercury. In Roman mythology, Mercury is the god of commerce, travel, and thievery. The planet probably received its name because it travels around the Sun in less than 90 days, quicker than any other planet. It has a very short year. However, it spins slowly, taking 59 days to spin on its axis. Mercury is one of the smallest planets, even smaller than Earth. It is the closest planet to the Sun, and sometimes cannot be seen. Often it is hidden behind the Sun or appears in front, getting lost in the Sun's glare. Mercury has a very hot, thin atmosphere. A tin can would melt, and humans could not live there. Mercury has been mapped by one spacecraft that flew by in 1974. Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, and the sixth largest in size and mass. Venus is the brightest planet in the sky. It is slightly smaller than Earth. Venus comes from Greek mythology and is the goddess of love and beauty. Venus was regarded as Earth's sister planet, since they are almost the same size and mass. But studies found that Venus is very different from Earth. The surface temperature of Venus is about 450 degrees Celsius. That is hot enough to melt lead. Winds on Venus are about 350 kilometers per hour. Its atmosphere is mainly carbon dioxide. A day on Venus is very long. It takes 243 Earth days to turn once. That is longer than the time it takes Venus to orbit the Sun, 225 days. So a day on Venus is longer than the Venusian year. The spacecraft from different countries have surveyed Venus. Earth. Earth is the only planet whose name is not from Greek or Latin. It is from Old English and German. Earth has only the one moon, unlike the other planets. And as far as we know, Earth is the only planet where there is life. Its crust consists of many pieces or plates, which are constantly moving and changing shape. 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, and it is the only planet where water exists in liquid form. The atmosphere is 21% oxygen and 77% nitrogen. It takes the Earth 24 hours or a day to rotate on its own axis, and 365 days or 1 year to make a single trip around the Sun. This is a wonderful place to live, but only if we look after our planet and protect our environment. Mars. Mars is the god of war. The month of March is derived from this name. Mars is the fourth planet in distance from the Sun and seventh largest of all the planets, much smaller than Earth. Mars is the most favored planet after Earth for human habitation. Therefore, several spacecraft have orbited Mars in search of signs of life. Several robots have landed on its surface. The latest robot in 2004 found signs of water. It is very cold on Mars. The average temperature is about minus 55 degrees Celsius, but can vary from minus 133 to plus 27. Man could survive there if he wore a spacesuit. The atmosphere is very thin and mainly carbon dioxide. It takes the planet 687 years to travel once around the Sun, and a day is 24 hours. Mars has 2 moons, and the largest mountain in the solar system, 3 times higher than Mount Everest. Jupiter. In Roman mythology, Jupiter was king of the gods and ruler of Olympus. Jupiter is by far the largest largest of the planets and one of the brightest. It is the fifth planet in distance from the Sun. If Jupiter were hollow, more than 1,000 Earths would fit inside. It contains more matter than all the planets combined. A year on Jupiter is nearly 12 Earth years, and one day is 10 Earth hours. The atmosphere on Jupiter is 90% hydrogen, and the radiation on the planet would be fatal to humans not protected with spacesuits. The planet has 16 moons and is surrounded by thin rings that cannot be seen from Earth. Winds there reach 700 kilometers per hour, and the clouds are cold at minus 150 degrees Celsius. Several spaceships have orbited Jupiter, one of them, Galileo, for 8 years. Saturn. In Roman mythology, Saturn is the god of agriculture. It also gave us the name Saturday. Saturn is the sixth planet in distance from the Sun, and the second largest planet in the solar system. It is easily recognizable by the beautiful rings that surround it. The rings are formed by water ice, and possibly by rocky particles. Saturn can be seen by the naked eye, but not as brightly as the other planets. Like Jupiter, it is made up of 75% hydrogen. Winds on the planet reach 1,800 kilometers per hour. Saturn takes 29.5 years to orbit the Sun, but a day on the planet is only 10 hours. Saturn has been surveyed several times by spacecraft. Uranus. Uranus is the Greek name for the supreme god of the heavens. Uranus is the seventh planet in distance from the Sun, and is 67 times larger than Earth. It is barely visible with a telescope. Uranus looks like a disk and spins lying on its side. It was discovered in the 18th century, one of two planets to be discovered in modern times. It takes Uranus 84 years to go around the Sun, so its poles are 42 years in daylight and 42 years in the dark. Uranus is a gas planet, and its atmosphere is 83% hydrogen. It has 27 moons and at least 11 rings. It was visited by one spacecraft, Voyager 2, in 1986. Neptune. In Roman mythology, Neptune was the god of the sea. Neptune is the eighth planet in distance from the Sun, and the fourth largest of all the planets. It is 4 times larger in diameter than Earth. There is very little information about this planet. It is primarily ice. The atmosphere is mainly hydrogen and a little helium. Neptune is the coldest planet and has the strongest winds in the solar system, reaching 2,000 kilometers per hour. Neptune is surrounded by rings and has 13 known moons. 1 year on Neptune is nearly 165 Earth years, and one day just over 11 hours. Neptune has been surveyed only once by spacecraft in 1989. Pluto. Pluto was discovered in 1930, and at that time was thought to be a planet, the farthest planet from the Sun. It is a small world. Earth's moon is twice as wide as Pluto. In Roman mythology, Pluto was the god of the underworld, a dark, cold place. And that is what Pluto is. In August 2006, astronomers from around the world decided that Pluto should not be called a planet. It was too small, and its weak gravity had not cleared its orbit of other small objects. Pluto is now in a special class of worlds called dwarf planets. That means there are only 8 planets in the solar system. Other dwarf planets are known, Ceres and Eris, and astronomers expect to discover more as time goes by. But because Pluto was known as the last planet in the solar system for over 75 years, it will always have a special place in astronomy.